everyone, it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and we are up today, or I'm up today, with day 17 of Scraptember and 30 Days of Sketches. Today's prompt for Scraptember is Sequins, and the sketch is up in the top left-hand corner there. Now, I had pre-planned this layout, so it came together quite fast. I do stick to the basic kind of design of the sketch, but I haven't followed it sort of to a T. Like, my layers are a little different and things like that, but the basic design is the same. So I am using, what's this collection called? It's from Rosie's Studio. It is the Sugar Bell collection. I've actually used it a couple of times. This is the same collection that I used for whichever day was the themed collection for a non-themed layout. Back on the 5th of September, I used this collection. And so it was kind of out. I had this photo of Lincoln cooking, and I'm using air quotes when I say cooking because I was cooking dinner. He wanted to do something, so I gave him a tiny little fry pan, a wooden spoon, and some sultanas and he was quite happily cooking along with me. So it was great. So he's not really cooking anything, there's no heat or anything like that, but he was loving life, also was eating the sultanas, so it's fun times for all. But I thought it went well with this collection, and I don't take a lot of food related photos, so this is much more of a baking theme than a cooking theme, but I don't really care. It all goes on the page. So I had pulled out some of the very themey papers in this collection. So like with any themed collection, I find there are always those papers that are really themed and those that are a lot less themed, but colour scheme wise work. So I made sure to pull out the really themed papers for this. Because again, it's cooking related picture, so I was happy to get all the cooking related things on here. So I'm just layering up. I've got 4 different pattern papers, and I repeat the same papers down the bottom just in reverse order. And I'm really happy with how it's kind of all coming together. I did layer up my photo on a couple more pattern papers. I definitely wanted the darker one because I had a couple of bits of ephemera that were dark. But I'm just layering up those on some of the papers that I have. And then, as I said, I pre-planned this, so it comes together quite fast. I'm going to create my clusters, one on either side of the photo and a cluster down the bottom right. So not exactly what happened in the sketch, but the shape of the sketch is similar. I don't do the sort of hearts and the scattering or splattering down the left-hand side. I don't do that. So basically, I put on pretty much everything from the collection that was baking related, cooking related. Again, much more baking than cooking themed, but it all goes on anyway, just because I wasn't sure when else I'd use it. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just layering up. Now, let me tell you about today. So, I think I've already told you who our special guests are, haven't I? Have I told you our special guests? Jackie from JQ Crafty. I feel like I told you already. I forget my head if it wasn't screwed on, guys. And then a heap of people are joining us for the whole month. Sorry, I am losing my train of thought like nobody's business. There are so many people joining us for the whole month. Our special guest today is Jackie from JQ Crafty, but there are so many people joining us. So everybody will be linked in the description box down below. But yeah, stacks and stacks. Your subscription feed will be exploding with Scraptember and 30 Days of Sketches thumbnails. So I hope you're loving all the inspiration coming your way this month. There's certainly a lot of it. Now, you can see this thicker set that I'm playing with. I actually had created a whole heap of words from a random thicker set that I had left. And I'm trying my hardest to use up some of these sort of almost used thickers in my collection. So I've gone with the title Good Food. It's not super relevant, but I will do a tiny bit of journaling on this page. But that's okay. It works. And I'm also adding in some wood veneer. So you can see that I've got some wood veneer in every one of the clusters there. I'm just going to start sticking everything down. I'm pretty sure I leave all of this in, so you can sort of see. So I'm someone who likes to usually, not always, but usually I like to kind of play with my clusters until I'm happy with how they're looking and then stick things down. I don't always sort of stick kind of as I go, if that makes sense. So sometimes I'll edit out the sticking down part because ultimately it is a repeat of what you've already seen. But some people do tell me they like to see the process. So it's sort of 50-50. I was in a bit of a rush, which I know sounds really weird because it makes my videos longer. So then my voiceover is longer. But the voiceover part is easier, I find, than the editing part. So, you know, anyway, the moral of this story is that I've left in the sticking down part, but I am someone who just sort of places my clusters down on the page before I stick, usually. So I'm layering everything up, popping some things up on foam, and adding everything in. Now, today's prompt is sequins. I have a confession to make. I am not a massive sequin lover. I find them difficult to use in the sense of I find them hard to stick down on the page sometimes. They go everywhere. I don't gravitate towards sequins. I don't know why. I love a shaker pocket. So if I am making a shaker pocket, yes, I'm using sequins. I don't have a heap of sequins in my collection. I really don't. I have very little. And yes, it's just not something I gravitate towards. So I'm using my sequins in this layout as the sort of in the place of enamel dots or nouveau drops. I'm going very traditional, 3 sequins per cluster, you know, the rule of 3s, and I'm leaving it at that. I know I could scatter beautifully with sequins, like what Laura does. Christy does the same thing, but sequins for me, I'm just not a massive user of them. So they are on the page. I did fulfill the prompt, but I definitely didn't, you know, use up a whole heap from my stash or anything like that. So forgive me, but I'm sure you will see many, many people using sequins today and coming up with amazing ways to use them. So I know you'll get some great inspiration. Mine is just very much, if you're not a big user of sequins like I am, definitely you can add them in as you might enamel dots or nouveau drops, just to add some little, as Laura Alberts calls it, scattering pieces. The scattering and splattering stage Laura likes to do at the end of each of her layouts. So you can definitely use them like that, or you can use them like I am, just adding the sort of 3 to each cluster as I would have done if I was using enamel dots or something similar. So you definitely don't have to make it complicated. And that means little packets of sequins like these ones from Spiegel Mum Scraps go a long way when you don't use them that often. By the way, these colours were amazing and went so well. These are very old sequin mixes. You won't be able to get them anymore. But yeah, they've been in my stash for quite some time. So I think that's about everything I can tell you. All the things are linked in the description box down below. All the things. So I will have linked to Laura, the wonderful, amazing Laura. Go and check her out. And Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life, as well as Jackie, JQ Crafty. She'll be in the sort of shout out to the special guest section of the description box, but everybody is linked underneath that who we know of that are playing along, both on Facebook and Instagram. So definitely hop along, check people out. I'm telling you, you will be able to watch videos for days. I certainly have struggled to keep up, and I am so far behind in watching everybody's videos. But hopefully I get a chance to watch a few more today. I'm trying to watch kind of a chunk each day. But I think I'm going to be catching up on these videos right into October. So I have basically finished. I am going to add some splatters, of course, because I can't do a layout without splatters. I just can't. So I'm adding my navy Heidi Swap Colour Shine and also the blush Heidi Swap Colour Shine. Really into both those two colours at the moment. I must admit, getting close to the end of my navy. So, I mean, there's still a decent amount left. I mean, it does take a while to use a bottle of mist if you're only splattering and onto the page, but I am getting there. I do love it. It's well loved, well used. It is my favourite. But I do have another navy that I can go to after, so I'm not feeling too bad anymore. Here are my close-ups. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we will see you in tomorrow's video. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Bye.